You'd think that life would give you a handbook when things get messy. And at any given moment, especially during adolescence, things become at the peak of its messiness, even though there would be more mess during childhood. I would go on about my day just like any other teenager. I would run my daily errands, I would do my extracurriculars, go to school, whatnot. Little did I know what was going to happen within the folds of my days further on. I had an immense love for gymnastics. It was something that really motivated me and made me feel like somehow I was different from everyone else. And that was a passion that I would do each week on a Thursday after school. Everything was okay. I did this thing as a form of release and tension release. But then I found a problem. It was around 2007. I was chubby, I had stomach rolls, and it never really was a problem for me. It never really made any obstacles. So when that happened, it hit me. I needed to lose weight. And I needed to know how to do it as fast as I can and as easy as I can. So as a typical teenager would do, I went online and I've typed in أسرع طرق أخسر فيها وزن. There were so many healthy ways. There were so many easy paths that would be very healthy for one's body. But I decided to go to an easier path and to do it in a destructive manner. It was around late 2007, primary 2008. I started drinking 13 Pepsi cans a day. I would drink one and then replace it with another one as if I'm still drinking the same one. This was for me a way to be able to pierce the cover that protects my stomach so I can induce vomiting easily. And I succeeded in doing so. Along with that, I was eating a lot of food as an emotional coping mechanism, and I would induce vomiting immediately afterwards. Because for me, that was even a faster way to lose weight. My body became at a very detrimental state. I started losing immense amount of weight. People started looking at me with a sad look on their faces. You're losing weight. And even though they were sad, I was extremely happy. Because for me, the more weight I lose, the more valid I became. Things were looking up. I was doing gymnastics properly, and I thought, okay, finally, this is the healthy way of me doing things. But it didn't stop there. I would have a daily routine of standing in front of the mirror, looking at myself, seeing how flat my stomach is, and how bony my chest would bevel. Because again, I thought the skinnier I became, the happier I would be. But that didn't last long. One day, I was walking in the hallway of my house, and I fainted. I was rushed into the hospital, and they knew that I was extremely malnourished. Everything became clearer. My family knew what was happening. My friends knew what was going on. And I was actually force-fed in the hospital, and I did not accept. Because the moment I would eat, I would purge it out again. Inducing vomiting became a form of tension release. Even though I would go through an extremely painful process, I was only caring about the end result, which was this catharsis of being completely relaxed, laying down, and simply just enjoying this calmness. The bathroom was my biggest solitude and refuge. It was a place where I was happy a lot and sad a lot, all at once. But years have passed by, and I didn't really know how to verbalize what was going on inside me. And I was never really good with words. This is when my creativity took place, the moment I isolated myself even more and more. I went back into my solitude, went deep, dived right into my thoughts, everything that I would be extremely insecure about. And I thought, ever since drawing was a hobby for me, I would try to find a way to properly manifest all the thoughts I would have inside me and try to visually narrate it. It became an amazing form of self-therapy. And even though it's not a professional way of doing so, but it really helped me nonetheless. That alone didn't really work. I thought that I need to do something extra because I was still inducing vomiting, I was still purging, I was still resorting to old mechanisms whenever I had minor relapses. This is when I thought that I need to dive even deeper into myself and try to see exactly what was going on. So in 2019, I resorted to professional therapy. And ever since, it has become even better and better, along with my illustration and doing what I do for my own self. I started working on social media, started sharing my work, and even though I was completely insecure at the beginning about doing so, it was never really an obstacle. The more I shared my work, the more I was happy to know that people were able to somehow relate and to be able to know that I'm not the only one who's going through this, nor are they. And that made me feel extremely gratified because it somehow validated my own pains and my own story. This is when I thought and when I knew that mental health is a big pillar in my work, and it always should be a big pillar in my work. Because the more I drew about it, the more I was positively mandated to go deeper into that topic and to be able to know more about it. Things became better. I was doing professional therapy, I was not resorting to unhealthy mechanisms, and all in a nutshell, I was doing good. And this is when I really realized how much harm I was causing to myself, behind people's backs, behind the people that I loved and who loved me, and how I needed to turn my life around. The most important thing for everyone who might be going through anything, be it a mental illness, an eating disorder, anxiety, you name it, it's really important not to let yourself dive deep alone, at least not throughout the entire way. Find a loved one, a close friend, a family, a sibling, a support system that you would be able to talk it out along with your personal journey, because what you do on your own is as important as resorting to someone you trust. Mental health is something that really matters. And even though we still talk about it a lot these days and we're pushing the message forward, but it's still somehow taboo in the Middle East. And that's how we know that we all need to do a collective effort in trying to make it even better. Eating disorder was a part of me, but it's not who I am, nor does it define me as a person. I'm an illustrator, I'm a designer, I'm an instructor, and I really hope that throughout my work, I will be able to somehow help someone else who might need it. Thank you so much.